Hi, so that's the problem, and I would like you to please stop the video and then try to do it on your own, and then after that, just watch me solving this problem. Now, we have a function, and of course, that's a polynomial, and therefore you need to use a quotient rule. So I put the definition of quotient rule here. If you have a function of f of x divided by g of x, then the way that you solve this one, just briefly, I'm going to explain the quotient rule, is f of prime of x means you're taking the derivative of the numerator times what is in the denominator minus the numerator times the derivative of in the denominator, and also whatever in the denominator is squared. So that's the rule that we're going to follow to solve this problem. So now, again, since we have x and y to argument, two distinct argument and inputs, you can mention, think about it this way, that you have two different inputs, and therefore we will have to take the partial derivative of this function first with respect to x, and then holding y constant, and then for the second time we take the derivative of this function with respect to y, holding x constant. So always when you take the derivative of multivariable function, means that you're taking the partial derivative, holding the second one constant, and then you're taking the derivative of second one, holding the first one constant. So let's do that. F of x, as I say, that's the notation that I like to use. You have the freedom to use any notation that you want. And then, so that symbolizes that you're taking the derivative of this function with respect to x, holding y constant. So how do we do that now? So here we say, by definition, you take the derivative of what is in the numerator with respect to x. When you take the derivative of numerator with respect to x, then this is 1 times y, so you have y, and then it's multiplied by what is in the denominator. That's the g of x to consider. This is f of x, and let's say that this is your g of x. And then you can follow this. So what is in the denominator is x plus y to the power of 3, and then it's a minus sign. What is in the f of x? F of x is x times y times the derivative of what is in the denominator, and then the derivative of x plus y to the power of 3 with respect to x is 1, and then divide this by x plus y to the power of 3, all things squared. Now it's a matter of solving. You have x, y, you just simplify this, multiplying, and then plus y to the power of 4, and minus x and y, and the whole thing divided by x plus y to the power of 3, and that is x squared, and therefore this will be equal to, because we have plus x and y with minus x and y is cancelled, and therefore your solution will be y to the power of 4 divided by x plus y to the power of 3, the whole thing is squared. You can stop here. So when you take the partial derivative of this function with respect to x, this is your solution. Now we're going to repeat the same thing, but this time we're going to hold x as constant, and we take the derivative of this function with respect to y. So to do that, again, f of y of x and y, and then I'm going to write the function right here so that you can x and y divided by x plus y to the power of 3. So again, it's very simple. Follow the same intuition, and we are taking the derivative with respect to y. Then if you take the derivative with respect to y, then you have x times x plus y to the power of 3 and minus x and y and times the derivative of what is the derivative of denominator with respect to y, and that is 3y squared, and the whole thing x plus y to the power of 3 squared. So now, if you get this far, that means that you're doing fine. Now, the only thing is that now if you want to simplify, just pay a little bit of attention and then don't do it too fast. If you're good in doing stuff fast, then that's all right. But if you take your time in the beginning, it's going to help you. So we multiply, and then it's x times x is x squared. And then we have plus xy to the power of 3. And then we are putting here, that's minus x 3x y to the power of 3. And this whole thing divided by x plus y to the power of 3 and squared. So you can see x and y to the power of 3, x and y to the power of 3. So you're subtracting because this is plus xy3 and that's minus 3xy3. And therefore you have x squared and it's minus 2xy to the power of 3 and divided by x plus y to the power of 3 squared. And then you can further simplify, just take x as a common factor here, and you can write x, and that is x minus 2y to the power of 3, and this whole thing divided by x plus y to the power of 3, and the whole thing is squared. So you can stop here. So that's another example, and I would do another example in using a power rule in the next video.